So hello everybody, and today, if my cats will let me, we are going to do an unboxing of the Lord of the Rings, the card game, the Lost Realm expansion. So while the box itself isn't in shrink, the cards themselves are. So this is brand new, I never even touched it, I didn't look at it. It is copyright 2014, so it's 6 years old. And let's take a look at the blurb. Peace and freedom, do you say? The North would have known them little but for us. Fear would have destroyed them. But then dark things come from the houseless hills or creep from sunless woods. They fly from us. What roads would any dare to tread? What safety would there be in quiet lands or in the homes of simple men at night if the Dunedain were asleep or were all gone into the grave? Aragorn from the Fellowship of the Ring. And welcome to the Lost Realm, an expansion to the Lord of the Rings, the card game. This expansion explores the lost Dunedain realm of Arnor and the tireless efforts of the Rangers to safeguard the people who still live in that country. 3 original scenarios allow players to aid the Dunedain in their secret vigil. It contains this rules insert, 165 cards consisting of 2 hero cards, 39 player cards, 119 encounter cards, and 5 quest cards. Okay, so immune to player card effects time X. The time X keyword represents the urgency of the hero's quest. That's interesting. Encounter is a new keyword that appears on player cards with an encounter card back, and it has the following rules. Player cards with the encounter keyword cannot be included in any player's deck because they have encounter card backs. Instead, when setting up a scenario, each player may set up to 3 cards with the encounter keyword aside out of play. These cards do not count towards the player's deck minimum of 50 cards. That's an interesting mechanic. No. Player cards with the encounter card keyword have a dash instead of a cost because they are never played from a player's hand. Instead, player cards with the encounter keyword are meant to be shuffled into the encounter deck. In order to shuffle one of the set aside player cards into the encounter deck, a card effect must instruct a player to do so. The when revealed effect on player cards with the encounter keyword cannot be cancelled. If a player card with the encounter keyword is dealt as a shadow card to an enemy, it is treated like an encounter card. Place it in the encounter card discard pile after resolving that enemy's attack. If a player card with the encounter keyword leaves play, it is removed from the game. Do not place it in a player's discard pile or in the encounter deck discard pile. Okay, unless it's a shadow card, in which case you do put it into the encounter discard pile. Then there are side quests. Okay, so we have intruders in Chetwood. Do not read the following until the Heroes have won this quest. That's interesting. So they're really okay. I'm intrigued already. So let's take a look at the cards. So we're going to open the first deck. So it comes with 3 packs. Okay, so here we've got quest cards. Okay, so they're completely unordered. Again, I mean, I really love the artwork. I mean, just look at the Shrouded Hills over here. So I'm just going to zoom in because I do want to talk about the cards a little bit as well. So the Shrouded Hills is just really beautiful. Very lovely. This is an Angmar captain. Again, very evocative, really nice artwork. Here we've got pressing needs. I mean, that is just such an evocative image. This guy sitting in front of a burning house and holding onto a doll that probably belonged to one of the kids that are burning in that house. Like I said, I mean, I really like most of the artwork that, I would say 99% of the artwork for Lord of the Rings LCG is really, really good. It's just so evocative, and it really brings to life the Lord of the Rings. I really like the Arnor cycle, also in the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. This is one of the cycles that I've always wanted to play because it is old. It's not part of the Lord of the Rings itself. Ancient Causeway, just look at this, really lovely. And it's just so immersive, the idea of this once proud kingdom that has fallen and how it's all falling apart. It's a lot more interesting to me than the constant, moaning of the elves. Oh yeah, our time is ending, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of go, yeah, well, you know what, just get thee gone. Here we've got the Dead Lord. All of the undead, they look really good. The card quality, of course, is excellent. Yeah, just look at these really, really evocative dead people. Terror of the North. It's a heady curse. I mean, this is just such a brilliantly executed idea. It's going to be interesting to think about what kind of a deck you're going to build for this, because ideally it would only be Dunedain. Surprising speed. Cornered Orc, yeah, fighting his last stand. Again, the artwork is just so beautiful. Amon Foren, to find all of these, things that you have read about and then to see them executed in such a beautiful fashion by an artist, that's something else. Weathered hilltop, exposed ridge. I mean, you just want to explore this. You just want to go there. Sheltered valley. A concealed orc camp. Ice storm. It's a weather card, so again, this goes over here. Thaurdir, an undead wraith. Thaurdir is damned. Baleful shade. Broken battlements. 4 North square. I believe that's where Arvidui was councillor. Haunted Keep. Deadman's Gate. Of course, we've also got Deadman's Dyke. This one goes over here. And here we've got orcs galore. Angmar Marauder, Angmar Orc. So, okay. That would be one of those encounter cards that are hero cards, but are actually part of the that you set aside. Ranger of the North, Dunedain, Ranger, Encounter, Surge, Range, Sentinel. When revealed, the first player chooses a player to take control of Ranger of the North. Then either deal 2 damage to an enemy or place 2 progress tokens on a location. That's a really powerful card. Iarion, he's an objective ally from the Lost Realm. He's a Dunedain Ranger. So then we've got Orc War Party, and my god, do they look unpretty. So they go here in this deck. Chetwood Forest. I've always wanted to travel to Chetwood Forest. The Borders of Breeland. Outlying Homestead. And yeah, so we've got plenty of cards. Coming in plenty of different decks. Now this one has a okay, so let's take a look at the player cards, because I think that is obviously, I don't want to say the most important thing, but it's probably the one that we need to pay closest attention to, because we are going to use them to incorporate in our deck creation process. So we're just going to move these to the side. I don't want to look at the quests simply because I don't want to spoil them for me. I mean, I also usually do blind playthroughs, so I'll just throw together the encounter decks and I will not look at them. I will not take a deeper look or closer look at the enemies, because I really don't want to. The first time I take my army to Isengard, as it were, I don't really want to spoil it for myself, and I also do not want to take away the fun. So here we've got Aragorn. This is Tactics Aragorn. He's a Dunedain Ranger. He's got 5 hit points, 2 shields. He's got 2 quests, 3 axes, and his threat is 12. And each enemy engaged with you gets -1 shield, which is good. And after Aragorn participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, choose an enemy not engaged with you and engage that enemy. Yeah, I like the fact that he reduces the enemy's shield by 1. Then we've got Halbarad. The question is, how does this work? Because if something is immune to player card effects, I guess this one wouldn't be working either. Halbarad is leadership, and he looks totally evil. While you're engaged with an enemy, Halbarad does not exhaust to commit to a quest. That's good. You may optionally engage one additional enemy during the encounter phase, and he's got threat of 10, 4 hit points, 2, 2, and 2. Okay. Okay. Then we've got a Dunedain ally, Weather Hills Watchman. 1, 1, and 0 shield and 2 hit points. He costs 2. And after Weather Hills Watchman enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a signal card and add it to your hand. That's not too bad if you're playing with signals, which I don't normally do, but you know, if I wanted to, I mean, this is the question: will I create a Dunedain deck? And I might actually try this. Then we've got the Dunedain Hunter, and we've got Aragorn, so we could give him Celebrian Stone. Dunedain Ranger, he's a hunter. He has 1, 3, 1, so he's a really good attack, and he's got 3 hit points, but he's got 0 cost. After Dunedain Hunter enters play, search the top 5 cards of the encounter deck for a non-unique enemy and put it into play engaged with you. If no enemy enters play by this effect, discard Dunedain Hunter, shuffle the encounter deck. That's why he's cheap. But that's actually an interesting card. Then we've got Sandford Sentry from the LotR sphere. Costs 3, 2 to quest, 1 to attack, 0 shield, 2 hit points. After Sandford Sentry enters play, draw 1 card for each enemy engaged with you. That's a card drawing mechanism. That's nice. Warden of Anuminas from the Spirit Sphere. Dunedain Ranger. Warden of Anuminas gets +1 questing power for each enemy engaged with you. 2 attack, 2 shields, and 3 hit points. Yeah. Signal. Play only if you control a Dunedain hero. Planning action. Shuffle one of your set-aside Ranger of the North allies with the encounter keyword into the encounter deck. Then remove Ranger summons from the game. Okay. That's not the only signal. There are signals in other decks as well. Tireless Hunters. Play only before the resolving enemy attacks the step. What? Before the resolving enemy attacks step. Okay. Choose an enemy not engaged with you. Engage that enemy. Then discard a shadow card from that enemy if able. Okay. Response. After you engage an enemy, exhaust a scout or ranger character to place X progress tokens on a location. X is the engaged enemy's printed threat. Expert trackers. Okay. Heir of Valandil. That's a title. Attached to a Dunedain hero. Planning action. Exhaust Heir of Valandil to reduce the cost of the next Dunedain ally you play this phase by 1 for each enemy engaged with you. And no minimum, so you could reduce it to 0 if you had 3 enemies engaged with you. That's an interesting choice. Athelas. Attached to a Dunedain or healer character. Action. Discard Athelas and exhaust attached character to heal all damage on a character. You may discard a condition. And it doesn't have to be a hero. You can attach this to any character that is a Dunedain or a healer. You may discard a condition attachment from that character. Okay. Secret Vigil. Attached to an enemy. Limit 1 per enemy. Attached enemy gets -1. Threat. Response. When attached enemy is destroyed, reduce each player's threat by the attached enemy's printed threat. That is a super interesting card. Starbroach. Attached to a Dunedain or Noldor hero, limit 1 per hero. While you are engaged with an enemy, attached hero gets +1 quest and cannot have its questing power reduced. Okay. And then we've got gather information. I believe these are possibly side quests. Limit 1 per deck. Aragorn halted and examined the tracks closely, the 2 towers. Response: after this stage is defeated, each player may search his deck for 1 card and add it to his hand. Each player shuffles his deck. You can put this into your deck. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder, does it count towards the 50? Now this is interesting because one could try and build a Dunedain deck. So we've got Aragorn. I'm not so sure about this Halbarad guy. I mean, Aragorn for sure. But Halbarad, I'm not so sure, because his ability is that you don't exhaust when he quests if you are engaged with an enemy. Yeah, great. So, but he only brings 2 quests to the table. I mean, Glorfindel quests for 3. I mean, if you had 3, then I would say, yeah, that's a good thing. But you know, just the 2, that's not very impressive. So that's the Lost Realm expansion for the Lord of the Rings. And yeah, I think I will actually spend some time tomorrow to look into deck building and see what I can do, if I can build a Dunedain deck. I have to check how many Dunedain heroes there are, because I've got 2, one of whom I'm not going to use. I would definitely want a lore character, a lore hero. And if I was to choose, I mean, I could always choose, then it's not purely Dunedain, but I could choose Elrond. And if I give him Vilya, then he's also a spirit. He also gains the spirit ability, the spirit sphere, I should say. I mean, what does Aragorn do again? Each enemy, yeah, he reduces he reduces an enemy's shield by 1, which is really powerful. Yeah. Okay, so that was the Lost Realm, and I hope you enjoyed this unboxing, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.